Commercial break! We've been really busy over the past 2 years developing our very own women's lacrosse stick.
We are really proud of it. So stop by the shop. We would love to tell you more about it.
Good Stick Co. Come get a stick. Good Stick Company is here to manufacture and produce lacrosse sticks locally here in the Czech Republic. Our mission is to make lacrosse more accessible so more kids can have access to affordable, high quality equipment so more people can play this game and we can share this sport around the world. Our philosophy on pricing is quite simple. By removing all these different logistics and these middlemen in the manufacturing process of lacrosse sticks, we can pass those savings on to you. We can make these quality lacrosse sticks affordable for more people.
We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse. We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse.
Traditionally Thank you very much. And now the national anthem of Ireland.
for their first bronze. They will take on Ireland, the 5 seed. With Marty Horkin, I'm Ralph Bednarczyk, so happy to have you with me. Both teams losing heartbreakers and trying to recover less than 24 hours later, Marty. Ireland, 10-8 loss to the 2 seed Italy. They were deep into the game. And then England losing in the final minutes 7-6 to Israel in a very rain-plagued game on this field last night.
Sure, and we have better weather conditions tonight. The sun seems to be shining right now as we get towards later part of the evening here. But again, both competitive games yesterday, very impressive. We have 2 really, really strong teams here, as the top 4 all were. I think we're ready for a really great matchup tonight for this bronze medal game.
England in the red on white, white on green for the Irish. Final game of the tournament for these teams. Their 7th in 8 days as they hit the finish line. The last game of the final full day of this tournament. There'll be 3 games tomorrow, including the gold medal between Israel and Italy. Mackenzie Moreland of Northern Maryland facing off against Rory Dunbar of Ireland, and Moreland is able to come up with a face-off win. And now under pressure off Pat McShane, Moreland trying to save it and is able to do so to his teammate in long pole midi, Thomas Hallam. Hallam will skip it here for Nick DiCaprio. DiCaprio fires and starts the scoring with a pole goal. A 12-yard rip past Joe Walsh. 1-0 England.
Hey, that's just the type of start England wanted to have right there. We had a great play over by the sideline, finding a teammate as he's going out of bounds, and to come up with a pole goal to start the game, that's a great way to start for England. The
athletic Mackenzie Moreland, a 6'4 lefty. Not many face-off guys can make that kind of save off the end line the way he just did to Thomas Hallam. And then DiCaprio is able to rip it. Now makes his home in London, but he attended school in the United States, found a great job there, and is assimilated quickly to Team England and has been one of the top defensemen in this tournament. Moreland, face-off win cleanly from Dunbar. Moreland to Cage with the shot. And that's wide of Walsh, and Walsh will come up with it. Walsh is certainly going to receive votes for the all-tournament goalie whenever that is announced. As the clear from Holland of Ireland. Meanwhile, in goal for the English, William Baxter, who started, he's the lone holdover from the 2016 championship team in the Euros for England. Nick DiCaprio with Grady Jackson-Fale and Matthew Tatton, the 3 close D-men. Tom Hallam is the long pole midi. This is Jack Doherty on the first midfield all-tournament, along with Aiden Dempsey and Kevin Somerville. For the Irish, Connor Foley spearheads the attack with Liam Horkin and Patrick Corbett. Somerville out wide. The Irish hoping to improve on capitalizing today, Marty. They had great chances against Michael Ippoliti, the goalie of Italy, particularly when the game was close and late. As Matt Curran said, sometimes that's lacrosse, but you have to capitalize on those looks, and we'll see today against another quality team. Somerville could not see that pass. Matthew Tatton will force him back, and a nice save there by Somerville. And Ireland perhaps to try to calm things down on their first possession. Foley made his way past the D-midi, that time Cameron Major. Ireland's defense has been tremendous. Now a chop check. They've gotten Patrick Corbett in the midsection.
Very deliberate in their offense to start this game, Ireland. Holding out to get the quality shot. They feel that, they needed to do that yesterday as well. But
Liam Horkin and a little draw and dump with Jack Doherty. And Doherty up the shake. Corbett to the front, and he had an open teammate, Aiden Dempsey. Misconnection over and back would have been a quality look.
Yeah, that was a really nice idea. They drew it up. They wanted to get the feed from X over and back on the errant pass, and so we'll have England starting to see their settled offense.
England with possession, and they will face Joe Walsh in goal. 4 quality polls of James Fennessy, Brendan Forst, Patrick Smith, and Patrick McShane, the long pole midi. This has been arguably the best defense in the tournament. Little pick and pop. then off the fake, and we'll get a whistle off ball. In the crease is called against England off ball. I think they got Blair Pashareva, a starting attackman.
Yeah, look like he stepped in that crease right there. If I'm Joe Walsh, I'm not too happy about that shot coming sort of as the whistle was blowing or slightly after, but no harm in it, missed the net, and Ireland looked clear.
Fennessy gains the sideline. And Foley will retrieve. Ireland yesterday giving top-seeded Italy quite the battle in a 10-8 final score. They were trailing 9-6 late, made it 10-8, even down to the final seconds despite a 15-6 face-off disadvantage against the likely tournament MVP and Angelo Venuto face-off guy for Italy.
Yeah, it just shows the importance of face-off and having, a face-off man who can dominate, which he did yesterday.
Brosnan taking the shot, looking to the short side. William Baxter will chase down the rebound. And he'll play it through Nick DiCaprio to start the clear for England. And meanwhile for England, 8-6 was the score. Beg your pardon, I said 7-6 before. Israel got a very late goal in the final 5 seconds just for the final margin. But played in impossible conditions on this turf field when it gets wet, and it had been raining since the mid-afternoon yesterday, and a legitimate shower. It made things difficult for a 7 p.m. local time start. It affected the game. And England hoping to have a better approach to Caprio. This time cut off from the shot by McShane. And talking to England's Sam Patterson, we played such a nice team concept leading in to this game, but they had 7 unforced offensive turnovers. They'd simply dodged with their head down a little bit too much into those rainy conditions, and that played right into Israel's hands versus letting the ball do the work, as the English style has been known for and how they had executed so well.
Yeah, and they played here on field 1 last night, like you mentioned. Field conditions were quite difficult. Ireland played on field 2. I think it was a little bit better, even though the grass was wet. The footing was a little bit more secure over there, having played Germany in a similar situation the previous night on field 1. But, hey, beautiful day here today, so field isn't going to be an issue.
Watson takes it across goal, out of his stick, and Ireland gets the stop. And now the push from Sean Holland. Holland, if there was a short stick D-midi of the tournament, he would get a good chunk of the votes. But before turning it over, a timeout will be taken here by Ireland's Matt Curran to salvage the possession in a 1-0 game.
Heady timeout there by Curran, as you could see that Holland was sort of running into trouble as he cleared the ball. He does have that athleticism, but really nice ride by England as they went to double him, called the timeout quickly to maintain the possession.
Historical significance of this bronze medal game for Ireland. They have never gotten the bronze. Their first appearance was in 2001 in the European Championship. They have finished as high as second in 2012, and that year they lost to England. Meanwhile, England, first time since the European Championship began in 1995, they are not in the final. They are 9-1 all time in the championship game. They've been in every single one, but certainly a sign of the parity and an improvement of Europe. 24 teams here, the top 7 that have already qualified for the World, or 6 of them have already qualified for Japan. But perhaps another small sign, Marty, of perhaps the parity that is starting to increase and the balance coming about.
Yeah, I think lacrosse is becoming more of a global sport, and I think that, you look at things like social media, you look at things like YouTube, where players from Europe can sort of watch some of their, favorite players in the NCAA or in, the PLL, and they can sort of, look to sort of mimic some of those moves that they do, whether it be face-off, whether it be from an offensive or defensive perspective. So you're seeing a lot of that, and the play is getting great.
Aiden Dempsey runs right into the D-midi, but then a late flag comes out. Daniel Flisk was the defender.
Thought that was a really nice little play there by Flisk. Yeah, it really looked great, but they're going to call him for a hold right there, 30 seconds.
So Ireland will have a man up to try to tie this game. Ireland last night against Italy, Marty, I think one of the most important things they did was they stayed goal for goal with the Italians, the 1 seed, 3-2 at the end of one. 5-5 game on a Pat Brosnan goal late in the second quarter. 7-5 after 3, but they stayed attached to a 7-6 after a Liam Horkin goal. As our officials now point in the direction of, they're pointing in the direction of England.
No flag.
And the flag picked up, so overruled. So Flicks making the defensive play. As DiCaprio looking into the sun, he will hockey stick rake it forward. Chance for Watson, rather Pashareva, and he beautifully kicks it over to a teammate. That is heads up by Blair Pashareva. Almost like a target forward, Robert Lewandowski style, laying it off for a midfielder when he is the hold-up man.
Yes, and also DiCaprio had a real nice play in order to sort of keep that on the field. I was sure that was going to get to the white line over here and get out of bounds, but it didn't, and England retains possession.
Skip for Daniel Hilditch, turns down the initial look. Hilditch then fires and improved his angle. This is a strong lefty for England, 2-0.
Yeah, Hilditch on a nice little drive right there, sort of a wing dodge, comes across, gets to the middle of the field, gets his hands free. Nice rip and a big celebration there. He's pretty fired up after that goal.
Initially, it looked like Hilditch might have turned down a decent shot, but he got one even better.
He did, in fact. That was a really nice take, though. And also, too, you never know. The sun may be playing a little bit of a role right here as it's sort of facing Joe Walsh right here. We'll see how that goes as the game goes on. It's pretty bright out there. That may be affecting some of the defense and goaltending as they shoot down that side.
Rory Dunbar, key development for Ireland as he comes up with a face-off win, and it's dealt back to Joe Walsh. Dunbar has gotten quite the education in this tournament for a native of Ireland. Spent some of his childhood and some of high school in Las Vegas. But seeing all these top face-off men, and Dunbar is the lone true Fogo for Ireland. And he's facing the combination of Moreland and Madeley today after facing Venuto yesterday. And one thing about face-off, guys, that coaches discuss, it's hard to simulate and practice and to prepare for something like that. You might be able to practice against everything else except a top face-off guy and a world-class face-off guy. Foley. Foley, here comes the Coma slide at him, and he is stripped. And Foley took it into a double, and the takeaway by England. Here is the aforementioned Daniel Madeley.
Yeah, you mentioned, here we go. Big pole chance here.
Oh, DiCaprio inside Walsh fights it off the shot by Pashareva with the stick.
As I was going to say there, Dunbar on the face-off win, which was really, great for Ireland, and very important for them. But, they sort of didn't do too much with that offense. They got no shot to the goal. Nice slide by England, as you mentioned, on that Coma slide, and to dislodge the ball from Connor Foley, and they look to go the other way and set up their offense.
The attack, haven't mentioned for England, the midfield, Timothy Collins, Alex Russell, Daniel Hilditch, the first midfield on a loaded group with Daniel Watson, Drew Bickerton, and Blair Pashareva. The depth of England, deep particularly in the offensive end, as coming out in front, Daniel Watson. And they can cycle through different players like William Shirt, William Prescott, Edward Loveland, and a full second quality group. The strength Sam Patterson felt at the beginning of this tournament was their depth. Having two goalies that are competing every day. Wanted to see grit from this team. And for the most part, I think he got it. They might have put together, Marty, also their best performance in the quarterfinal. First half, they led France 9-0. And they looked very prepared to take on Israel in the semi. But then, of course, the conditions factoring in and an excellent Israel defense. Taking it out in front is Edward Loveland. Loveland had 4 goals and an assist in that France game in his coming out party.
Yeah, England looks pretty comfortable here in their offensive set. They haven't hit the cage in the last couple of chances, but they're backing it up. They're ready to go again. They're looking to dodge right here.
Billy Prescott, good trail check to knock it free by Liam Walker, who's getting some D-midi time, and that's out of bounds. We have not seen that in this tournament from Liam Walker as a defensive matchup.
Yeah, Walker, maybe in the very first game, he may have gotten some, but we noticed that Sean Wiseman, number 3, is not dressed to play today. He had been one of the primary short stick defensive midfielders. He's had some nagging injuries, and it appears that he will not be contributing today on the field. So, it's one of those next man up mentalities. I'm a New England Patriots fan, formerly Bill Belichick, and that was always the mentality. So I think they're carrying that forward into a game like this.
And the other guy out for Ireland, we wish the best to Connor Shears, long pole midi, played in his first game and only game yesterday against Italy, tried to go. He's been dealing with a knee issue, and he limped off the field yesterday, perhaps a re-aggravation. And Shears tried to step on the field in a big game like that. So Ireland down 2 players on the defensive side of the field today.
Yeah, and you know what? He is a dynamic player. Had him out there yesterday. I thought he did really well driving people, not forcing them down the alley. Did a really good job with it. Whether it's a hamstring or knee, it's a nagging injury, and it seems to have reared itself again. So unfortunate for him to not be able to be on the field contributing with his teammates.
Jack Songer with 2:35 left. Matched up against Cameron Major, who zigzags his way. And then leave outside for Luke Maloney. Swing for Foley, wide open, Patrick Corbett, and that's right in the stick of Baxter. It pops up high in the air strangely, and it'll come down to England. And Major had it. Foley put it on the ground.
Big battle here.
Foley with an aggressive chop check, and then Songer will bury Major. That was a 2-point takedown. He got both shoulders down. If it was wrestling, flag is out against Ireland. It's a 30-second hold.
Fortunate for Ireland that it is only a 30-second hold. They were definitely, as they say, throwing some lumber over there. I mean, contacting stick, it's okay, but we've mentioned it a few times. We've seen a few of those battles where it's almost like a fight in a phone booth. England comes out with it right there. They'll be man up for 30.
First man up of this bronze medal game. Final 90 seconds of the first quarter. England came out, got a pole goal from Nick DiCaprio, and then Daniel Hilditch swinging to his left. Hilditch now up high, and England looking for better spacing. Hilditch now will go low to high. Walsh reading it, and then it's at his feet, so he's able to come up with the outlet, and that should do it for England's man up.
Yeah, really nice save there by Joe Walsh. He tracked the ball really well. It was sort of a low-to-low. Could have had a hold there. They'll pass on that. But Walsh, really nice job.
Liam Walker in trouble. And Ireland is going to spend their second timeout of the half here. 52 seconds left. And Walker was channeled towards the sideline. And then he had nowhere to go.
Yeah, it appears, Walker did run himself sort of into a bit of a double, if not triple team right there. It is difficult when you take your timeout this early, both of them in the first quarter. Doesn't leave you with any for the second quarter. You get 2.5. But possession is that important right now for Ireland. They want to get on the scoreboard, and they were in danger of losing that ball right there. Smart play might be to sort of always, can always go backward in international lacrosse especially. There's no time restraints on it. There's no 20-second counts. We've mentioned before there's no shot clocks. You can go backward with that, take your time. You could go back as far as with Joe Walsh. There's no over and back. They hadn't touched it in the offensive end yet. But they take the time out. Smart call by the coach, and maybe they'll draw something up here to get themselves on the board.
Ireland will have it just outside the restraining box. 52 seconds remaining, first quarter. They have won a face-off from Rory Dunbar. And now they look for a quality shot. Both teams here at 5-1. But both teams wanting to play hard for the bronze medal on this final day. It's been tricky when some teams just dealing with injuries have rested players and maybe not gone full bore at it. Some teams really pursuing making history have really gone for it. So there's been a balancing act as one of the stories and the themes of today, this final full day of action. Foley given the room.
Been impressed with the English defense thus far in the game. They've been very sound, great communication, and they've been working as a unit, doing a really nice job.
Liam Horkin looked across. Foley.
Notable
And
Horgan.
Foley, he's met by a hard slide by Grady Jackson-Fail. Somerville skips for Doherty. 15 seconds left, first quarter. And then Doherty's pass, well, that was intended for Connor Foley, but Foley was definitely not expecting it.
Yeah, that wasn't probably what they drew up coming out of the timeout, I can't think. But, you know, again, really sound defense right there. I think at one point they did have Horkin, who's an attackman with a short stick on him. Didn't realize the mismatch. Quarter will end.
It's 2-0 England in the bronze medal game. Both teams at 5-1. We'll head back to now sunny Wrocław, Poland on Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV. Sun right now is very, very low, and what a fascinating scene here on a late Friday night in Wrocław, Poland. Southwest Poland, very close to the Czech and German borders. Ralph Bjornchik alongside Marty Horkin. Daniel Madeley for England to face off now against a Pole for the first time, and Brendan Forst. I don't recall seeing him at all this tournament facing off for the Irish, but it creates a scrum. Baxter out of goal pursuing. So is Grady Jackson-Fail of England. And the ball will go to England as on the pursuit, Patrick McShane probably could have had it, but he stepped out of bounds.
And interesting to note there, Ralph, they had 3 poles across the face-off line right there. They had 2 on the wings and 1 taking the face-off. They only had 1 down low. They had 2 short-stick D midfielders. So that's an interesting maneuver. Heard the coaching staff, I heard that mentioned they might try that. They thought, oh, we should have tried that yesterday. So a new wrinkle they're throwing in this second quarter.
Yeah, I was about to say that, you know, out of all the games to try that, it would be against Angelo Venuto of Italy, who's facing off easily at 90%. Yesterday, who's only at about 75, 15 out of 21, so just shy of 75%, which is a low number for him. Alex Russell then improved his spot.
That was an early slide there by Ireland, and then, you know, great recovery to force that shot for England to just be off the mark slightly.
They look for Russell off the curl cut. And then Watson. And the pass from Drew Bickerton almost sails on Watson. Daniel Watson thought he had a path to cage and cut off well by Brendan Forst. Hilditch skipping across. Room for Russell. And, you know, Marty, yesterday we were trying to put our heads together in terms of awards and how we would do it. We were wondering, certainly, if there was an Irish defender in terms of, because it can be difficult to pick out defenders, who of these 4 Ireland Poles would be the one that would be most award-worthy, save made low by Walsh. And that was hard to come up with. Neither is necessarily the obvious takeaway guy, the flashy guy, but all I think have played an extremely high level.
No, I agree. They're a nice team unit out there, and they play as a team. You know, like we mentioned, they had a tryout in January in Dublin where all of these players were at. For that, they got to meet each other there, get to work a little bit, and then they had about 3 days prior to this tournament starting over here where they were just trying to hope things could meld and get together. So really great cohesiveness, and they've played really solid team defense.
Now for Ireland on offense. While they've had shots against William Baxter, they're still waiting for some quality.
Yeah, nothing's really sort of bothered them that much at this point right now.
Foley searching for the sweep right. Cut off by Grady Jackson-Fail. Dempsey.
I think when Ireland's at its best, they're moving the ball. You saw that against Germany. We had sort of unlikely scorers scoring and just moving that ball, and not seeing a lot of that yet. Flag down, flag down.
Dempsey's shot is blocked. Let's see who they send off. And it's a slash on Nick DiCaprio. So it'll be a 1-minute man up, and we'll see if that jump starts Ireland's offense, which is still searching for something in the painted area or an open step down.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for Ireland right here to try to pull within 1 goal, get themselves on the board. They have a man up for 1 minute. It'll be interesting to see what they do here.
Room for Foley, and perhaps a bit of a deflection on the shot. Everything, no contact with Baxter in goal.
We've seen that exact same look several times, that Hork into Foley up top. Little off the mark right there, or possibly a deflection, but that's not a bad look.
Somerville, then the overhand bouncer gets Ireland started 2-1 on the man-up finish.
Kevin Somerville right there, Colorado College product, gets the ball on that right-handed side. Has a nice high-to-low delivery there. He brings the ball back really high, hides it behind his head. Difficult for the goalie to see, even add in the sun glare as well. Really nice shot by Somerville, and he's had some pretty big goals in this tournament.
Petra Corbett moved it along in the wheel on the man-up. He gets the assist. So the foul on DiCaprio comes back to hurt England.
Still back to this 3-pole tactic.
And with Forst facing off against Moreland, and Forst is able to come up with it.
Forst just out-muscled him right there. That was a really strong play by Forst. Now they get some extra time on this man up because it still carries over. It may have ended now, did it?
Yep, DiCaprio is up and out of the box.
Interesting, the time does continue to tick down. We've said it over and over in different games. If you're just tuning in, international play, personal sort of fouls, 1-minute fouls. Time keeps running.
And then Ireland throws the next pass away.
Once again, valuing possessions, important for Ireland coming into the game, and that wasn't a good example of it.
Cameron Major comes up with a clear. There's Tom Roper for the first time. Spent the majority of this tournament on the second midfield, but England has been able to cycle in a lot of different personnel. And one of the areas for Sam Patterson, he lamented, unfortunately, we did not get a close game experience prior to last night. And even in the run-up to here, he reflected back on his playing career. He finished up in 2018 Israel as a player. And in 2014 Denver, they had opportunities to play teams, get an organized scrimmage at some point leading into the tournament. As coming out in front, they get a goal from Daniel Watson.
Yeah, Watson just comes around from X right here, gets a little bit of space, not much, gets the hands free, shoots low, and the ball kind of dribbled in, beat Joe Walsh for the third goal for England.
So England gets a quick response. And in any event, he was hoping and said that to me right at the beginning of the tournament, questionably what happens when we're in a close game. And you expect the semifinal to be a close game, and then the weather added another element to that certainly that changed the type of game it became. And to see who would be able to handle that the most and just persevere through extremely wet and slick conditions here on this field is Moreland. Moreland will get the whistle against Force, so he makes the adjustment. But even as we talked about in other broadcasts, learning how to win close games, the experience of being in them, you can practice your systems and be prepared in every way. But in this cycle, England just was not able to come up with an opportunity. There was hope maybe they would play University of Richmond in Spain at some point. It just never came through.
No, they run a great program here in England, and again, they're in the third place matchup right here. I know that they're really upset they weren't potentially playing the final tomorrow, but they're in a great game here. They're showing well, and they have a lot of talent all over the field.
Watson might try the other side. That went behind the back, I think, with a pass. He got boxed in by Brendan Force defensively.
And they're calling that a shot, I think, right there.
Yeah, yep, that's a...
Didn't seem to be any complaints from anybody out there, so I think that, it was the appropriate call. It was a nice job.
Then the shot on the run comes from Loveland. 6 minutes to go, first half, 3-1 England. They came out and got two pretty early in the first quarter before Ireland, as they had in this tournament, they were locking people down defensively. Walsh making the save high.
Yeah, great cut right there. Nice find on the crease for England. High to high right there. No change of planes. Joe Walsh explodes up, and he's equal to it. Nice save for Ireland.
Edward Loveland came on a pick, got a curl cut, and he tried to power it through Walsh. And now the clear for Liam Walker of Ireland.
A lot of pressure there from England on that. That's kind of reminiscent of the play where Ireland was forced to call that timeout earlier. When clearing game, I think I'd like to see a little bit more movement of the ball from them as opposed to just sort of doing a punt return and running into a triple team.
Patrick Corbett's huge game against Germany in an eye-opening quarterfinal against the fourth-seeded Germans. That was a 12-6 finish for Ireland.
He brings a real veteran presence out there, real heady player.
And Doherty just bothered enough by the shot. On a little bit of a nudge trail check by the English defender. But the restart, Liam Walker. Songer forced down the alley by Roper. Lone goal for Ireland came on man up. Foley again trying to find that sweep. This time he got the better body into the defender that time, Matthew Tatton, but couldn't put it on cage.
Yeah, it seems to be Ireland's shots are a little off cage here. They haven't tested too many, attempts haven't gotten through to the goalie. Nice take, though. I mean, they'll come back to that later, I'm sure of that.
Horkin, the lefty sweep for Foley.
I think they're trying to find a good short stick matchup here. They're sort of every time they get at someone, it's got a pole, so they want to get a short stick on a short stick.
Songer eventually catches his breath, and he's got one. So does Brosnan. Pat Brosnan. And with a hard drop step, he's pestered by a very good slide. Got rid of it to Songer. Foley freeing his hands, got a pretty good shot off. Sprawling was Brosnan to try to maybe tip it in, but he is in the crease.
And they're
However, they'll
say
say he was pushed.
Yes. Great call by the referee, or, it was in the proper position to see that call. We could see the body in the crease. He saw how he got there. Ireland will retain possession right here. It's been a very deliberate, long possession here for Ireland, but I think part of that is I think the English defense has been quite sound. They've had it so long, they're actually subbing out some personnel here during this, so, a lot of defense being played here by England.
They're able to change D-middies, bring back arrested Daniel Flisk. That shot ripped by Aiden Dempsey. That got crossbar.
Yep, really nice take there by Dempsey, and now we'll see Somerville with it too, and they just subbed him in. Sometimes, he's, like I said, had some pretty big goals in this tournament. Going to get a pick down for Horkin here.
As Horkin drives, chop checked away by Major.
Aggressive defense there by England.
Foley, as he looked backside, now inside Horkin. Somerville, curl cut inside Dempsey, not much of an angle, but there is another flag out against England.
That was nice ball movement by Ireland on the backside. They sort of got a little one more look right there. Horkin caught the ball in the middle. He's often an off-ball guy, a crease guy when he plays at home at Connecticut College. Great defense by England, turned him back. He shoveled past it, and a nice attempt there. It went wanting, but they drew a flag, and we'll have a man up.
Could take us to the end of the first half.
And Corbett giving the old head bob right there. There was a little brush, little contact, but trying to sell it, maybe get another man up. Crafty.
In front it comes, and the shot missed. The rebound could not be tucked in. Liam Horkin had the chance at a bouncer that it did bounce up.
Hit the pipe there, I think it did, Ralph. He caught pipe. Nice take. Unfortunate for him, it didn't go in. Fortunate for England, they'll look to clear.
Under a half minute to go. Clock will stop on any whistle. And the clear legged ahead by Daniel Flisk. Timeout will be taken here by England. So they are still down a man.
Defensive, battle at this point right here. We're at 3-1. If you had told me that coming into the game, I wouldn't have believed you. I know they both have sound defenses, but one goal for a high-powered offense from Ireland. They've been getting up into the double-digit range in most games, and in England as well. So it's been a chess match out here, if you will. I'm sure England's going to try to draw something up in this timeout to maybe, if they can get another one on the board, this would be a big momentum shift and something to build upon that they would give them a positive feeling moving into the locker room.
They'll have it just across midfield, but short time, 21 seconds left. Watson extended to 3-1. Ireland is 1 for 2 on man up. Bronze medal game, and then these two teams will be finished for the tournament. Winner will finish 6-1. Actually, it looks like the previous flag was just a 30 against England, so we are even here, 6-on-6 to close out the quarter. Russell finds an open shooter, the goal. Alex Russell's slip pass there for Edward Loveland. Perhaps some traffic that bothered Joe Walsh, 4-1.
Yeah, they have the cutter, goes inside. It's a really nice look. Just a little curl cut, no one follows him, and a quick release. That was the key there. Sort of the ball, they always say don't let the ball die in your stick. It didn't. It was maybe a half cradle and a shot, and that's exactly the momentum boost right there. And going into halftime, it's nicer to be up by 3 than it is to be up by 2 for England.
Nice play design. Coming out of a timeout, England executes 6 seconds left. And Mackenzie Moreland will be in a stalemate. Hold called is on Rory Dunbar.
Another timeout.
Yeah, second timeout. What this would be. We're going to find out, go deep into the playbook for offensive coordinator Mike Bartlett under Coach Sam Patterson. What can they draw up here in a bronze medal game? We saw tremendous play. Marty, you were on the field. Poland had a very nice, with 2 seconds left, NBA style, call a timeout and throw a ball in for a shot that almost went for a goal. So these are things to work on, or these are things you've been waiting to use, and there's no other games to use them for tomorrow.
Yeah, every coach has something in their back pocket. 3 seconds, not a lot of time, especially given that the ball is just over midfield. And also, too, interesting to note that unlike basketball, where you can get that shot off before the buzzer goes, in lacrosse and international lacrosse, that ball has to pass the whole goal line before the time expires. So that sort of even makes that window a little bit smaller for England.
So now they'll put it into the stick of Nick DiCaprio, a pole. And see, DiCaprio, he's going to shoot it at Walsh. And then there's a flag down. So maybe take into consideration the sun and the shadows. And then they put a lot of traffic in front of Walsh, who was forced to make a save. Let's see what the call is here. There's no time remaining, but it is a 1-minute foul against Ireland.
Well, you know what? Interesting scenario that happened right there. But England got something out of it with that timeout because they drew that foul, and that's going to be big. They'll be man up to start the second half.
Yeah, fascinating play. We'll see how it develops in the third quarter. 4-1 in the bronze medal game between the 2-seed England and the 5-seed Ireland. We'll step away for 10 minutes and bring you the second half from Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV. You're watching the 2025 Men's European Lacrosse Championship.
Commercial break! We've been really busy over the past 2 years developing our very own women's lacrosse stick.
We are really, really proud of it. So stop by the shop. We would love to tell you more about it.
Good Stick Co. Come get a stick. Good Stick Company is here to manufacture and produce lacrosse sticks locally here in the Czech Republic. Our mission is to make lacrosse more accessible so more kids can have access to affordable, high-quality equipment so more people can play this game and we can share this sport around the world. Our philosophy on pricing is quite simple. By removing all these different logistics and these middlemen in the manufacturing process of lacrosse sticks, we can pass those savings on to you. We can make these quality lacrosse sticks affordable for more people.
We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse. We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse.
4-1 and having a man up that was earned at the buzzer at the end of the first half. A clever play design, Nick DiCaprio with 3 seconds showing, heaving the ball on a set play from midfield right at goalie Joe Walsh. England ran interference in front of Walsh, and a player from Ireland was called for a 1-minute slash. And that short amount of time. Ralph Bednarczyk alongside Marty Horkin with you in Wrocław, Poland. Bronze medal game, England by 3 over Ireland. Hilditch thought about it. They look for something better with plenty of time. Watson along. Hilditch gets even closer. That's side netting. Walsh with a hard chop check, but he does not come up with the ball. Picked up by Russell of England.
Fortunate there for Walsh that he didn't catch anything other than the stick of the player, because had that caught anything of soft tissue, that was going to be another slash, and we would have seen Gavin Conlon in his green sweatpants.
The skip pass back, and Walsh is able to see it well. He stops Timothy Collins. Now the toss ahead. Ireland trying to race out, and now a flag is out against England. And a good box out there by Patrick Corbett, planting himself right at midfield. He draws the foul. Ireland will go man up for the 3rd time.
Yeah, Patrick Corbett, he's just a really heady player. He's a veteran on the team, played at Lehigh, Canadian player, just savvy as they come, and he's really good at feeling that pressure and sort of knowing, where it is. It appeared on that clear that Walsh was trying to get a goalie interference. He sort of swung his stick, and that's why it was kind of a wayward clear. I think he was trying to catch a piece of the English player and get a free clear out of that. But in any event, Ireland will go man up.
Kevin Somerville will move it along. Somerville has the man-up goal at the start of the 2nd quarter. Brosnan searches. Dempsey turns back and scores. He beats the new goalie, Simon Bellamy. That'll play the 2nd half. Dempsey makes it 4-2.
Yeah, Dempsey right there with a really nice little spin move. He sort of showed shot, spun away, turned, ripped that thing left-handed. And we saw Dempsey score 2 at the end of yesterday's game, when a lot of people might have said, but they fought till the end. That he was covered in mud at it. Just a real gamer. I mentioned that yesterday, and that's just how he plays, just how that goal went in. He's a tough, rugged kid, played at Ohio Northern. A couple of his teammates were actually here to watch him from his college team. They came out to Poland to see him play. Talked to them earlier today.
Oh, that's super cool. Yeah. Talk about a long-lasting bond.
And there's McShane on another ground ball. We've seen that a lot. Nice face-off for Ireland right there to come away with that. McShane's parents from County Down. Had a chance to talk to them yesterday, and he's really done great. They are now living in Texas.
Somerville will officially begin the possession as he tries to crash through the defender, Daniel Madeley. Foley coming out front, still looking for his first points. This one caroms all the way to the bench of England. And a sliding to his left, Simon Bellamy appears like he did make a save.
Yeah, he wasn't tested too many times in the first half, and already here, early parts of the third, Ireland coming out, looking to pick up the tempo here, and I think that, probably some choice words were had in the huddle, and the energy looks a little better for Ireland to start the third.
Brosnan trying to shield off Flisk. Brosnan partially getting topside. He has backup. England playing so well defensively this tournament without fouling. We'd love to know the numbers of who has fouled the least in this tournament. Brosnan's shot off target.
I was on a game earlier today that had 21 flags in the game.
Oh, my. Brosnan continues to get the short stick. This time retreats from Flisk and a flag is coming out. Be a 30-second push with possession at minimum. So Ireland, it appears like they are maybe even a little bit more determined, Marty, to dodge hard. They're lowering their shoulders. We haven't seen their many open step downs. Maybe taking a more concerted effort to crash.
Yeah, they want to get that English defense moving right there. They'll have a 30-second man up here again. Another chance to draw this game to within 1 goal.
So a 4th man up. That's Foley. And shooting this time from the other side.
Yeah, really nice look. We've seen that look several times where they sort of draw to the right side, throw back to Horkin, and then Horkin finds Foley up top. That seems to be their quick hitter look, especially in a 30-second penalty. You sort of want to get a shot to the cage pretty early. They did, as the penalty is now released. 6-on-6 offense.
Ireland gets 1 shot. Dempsey. And DiCaprio physically engaged him. Foley drops the head, got in front, his first goal. Well, we've been waiting for that. The defender in Lucas Sharink came out, and Foley got underneath him. It's 4-3.
Yeah, the danger with someone with like Foley, his feet are so quick and he's so strong. He's really, he's got a great center of gravity, great sense of balance. Oftentimes he'll try to sweep his player. In that case, he showed the sweep, stepped under, stuck his head down, went hard, finished low, and that's a nice goal. Big momentum shift here as we start the 3rd quarter. Ireland gets 2 back quickly. It's a good call right there by the official. Anytime a player, they got a push right there, England will come away with it. Unfortunate that happened. It was behind the play, really wasn't even involved in it, but the ball will go to England. Ireland will wish to get that chance back because anytime they can get possession, they want to with the great face-off guys that England has.
Now Drew Bickerton trying to dodge against the physical defender, James Fennessy, as he towers over Bickerton.
Fennessy is a big fella. Sometimes those attackmen, though, have those quick-moving feet, though, so you have to match feet with them, and that can be difficult.
Lefty shot by Collins. Walsh to save. And sprinting ahead, Ireland with a chance to push Holland ahead.
He had McShane for a head-man pass, elected not to go with that, and Ireland will probably slow this down.
Foley, there's his familiar sweep. Takes a nudge from Hilditch, who reins in defensively. Not normally his spot.
Flag down.
Jack Songer trying to take on Hilditch. Man at the other pipe by DiCaprio. Foley, he has room. Somerville across. Dempsey sets himself. Missed the shot. Now in the game, the starting goalie, William Baxter. So a change was made, I think during the last timeout or when the ball was on this end, after we saw Bellamy briefly. So a change by Sam Patterson after consecutive goals, Dempsey and Foley. And now a man up for Ireland to tie this bronze medal game. England led 4-1 at halftime.
Yeah, maybe their 3rd man up right now, maybe in this quarter for Ireland. So, they're getting offensive chances. It seems like they've had the ball down this end quite a bit.
Somerville in deep, denied by Baxter.
Baxter with a great save there. Just like you mentioned, he was playing earlier, came out, came back in. That's a nice scoring opportunity for Ireland and an even better save by Baxter.
Baxter in particular, back to the 2016 final, was wonderful. That helped England win that championship. He's the lone player back that was played in Budapest, Hungary in August of that year. And he was the starting goalie.
Notice we have Matt Palmieri out there with a short stick playing short stick defensive midfield. He often plays with the long pole. With a few injuries that they have, great defensive-minded player. They put the short stick in his hand, and he's happy to take it.
Hilditch past Palmieri, and he beats him.
Yeah.
Hilditch made the identification, went to a strong left, and then puts a bouncer behind Walsh. England back by 2 with Hilditch's second.
Yeah, strong take by Hilditch here. Drives hard to his left hand. Nice hard bounce shot. Beats Joe Walsh. That's a really nice goal for England, and then they can sort of extend that lead to 2 now, and the momentum shift could be coming here. I notice Ireland takes quite a bit of time in between these sort of goals situations when they get those pulls up there. Might be mindful of that in case they're called for a delay at some point.
Again, Ireland triple polling. It's about 5th or 6th time we've seen it. Moreland will still come up with it. But as he tried to pass, Ireland just stayed attached to him and did not allow him to get his hands free. So Ireland able to turn him over and find a possession somehow.
I think that was Patrick Smith with that check right there. It was a really nice check. And oftentimes guys will throw like very heavy checks. He sort of just lifted at the right time, dislodged the ball. Nice job for the turnover for Smith. That's up high, could be a hold there.
Dempsey will settle. Foley will recover.
And right there, too, they pass on that. Could have, I'm glad in this tech game like this they don't call that. But, if you're disadvantaged, it's one thing. There was nothing much in it. Little brush. 6-on-6 here.
Jack Doherty. And will start his move closer to midfield. Cameron Major on him. Ireland had a chance to tie, a possession to go. Foley found Doherty. Well, there was very little room to pass that ball through. Foley found it through the shadows. Doherty turns and shoots. It's 5-4.
Yeah, nice connection there. And those guys have played with each other in Limerick. They've played in San Diego, now here. Really nice look in there by Foley. A great finish as well. And that's the sort of look they want to get. We notice a little bit more of individual dodging and that sort of effort in the first half, and I feel like Ireland is sharing the ball a little bit more here, and they're at their best when they do that. Nice goal, and we're back to a 1-goal game.
Ireland stays with the triple pole, and then Madeley is knocked down from behind. The pursuit by Pat Smith, who has it, and consecutive face-off wins now for Ireland.
Yeah, as we heard a lot of oohs and ahs right there, but I think there was a play, and they elected to not go with the push call on that for whatever, so Ireland will retain possession. But again, that 3-man pole thing is really kind of working for them, I think.
England has yet to be able to sprint out after a Moreland face-off win to capitalize, or Madeley. And another chance for Ireland to tie the game. Foley weaves, throws it back, Brosnan low, Baxter turns it away. Ireland has backup with 1:20 in the third.
That's a big save right there, again by Baxter. Nice little sort of slip screen right there. It was going to be a screen, and then Brosnan rolled out from it, found the opening. Mentioned before, those two play together on the same box team down in Hingham, Massachusetts.
Somerville. And from distance, not in any shooting position. Foley again shooting, trying to use a screen. Baxter the save. And on the ground ball, Jackson failed.
As you look, there's 40 seconds on the clock. Not sure about the time management right there. Nice wheels by England here on the clear.
That was
Timeout call.
Fisk, and just as the push from England was getting going, a timeout is taken by England. No one maybe saw, maybe the sun was distracting, but Daniel Fisk just ran a 4.5 40.
He sure did. He was flying right there. We've seen that from a few players, in this tournament. So just the wheels, we mentioned Holland on Ireland. I know number 0 for France has been a great clearing player as well. As names not on the top of my tongue. But we've seen a lot of that great athleticism, great competition here. Sun setting. Really an entertaining game here we have.
And a dry track that Daniel Fisk just enjoyed. 34 seconds left. England was successful on a play out of a timeout earlier. And they'll try to replicate that here. Ireland, though, battling back to make it a 5-4 game. They've scored 3 out of the 4 in the third quarter and are looking for the stop. And England has put them men up now 3 times in the period, which has been unlike England in this tournament. Heading into it, one of the hopes when you play a bronze medal game, you're emotionally spent from the loss the previous day. England's approach came in just hearing Drew Bickerton, and he had the loudest voice coming onto the field. Let's just have fun today and playing for bronze. But the game has been clean, but played at an intense level.
Sure has, and I'm interested to see what England has. They'll pull out of their bag of tricks here. They had that timeout. They've been really, really strong coming out of these timeouts with their set pieces, so they'll hold for the last shot here.
Yeah, that was a Loveland goal from Russell at the end of the first half. That was very nice.
Got an invert here. Short stick on short stick from behind.
Loveland taking on Holland. 5 seconds to go. Then the deflected pass by Palmieri with the shorty on the pickup. Roper, that's it. So Holland playing good defense, and then Ireland getting the stop. As we head to the fourth quarter, the battle for bronze is a 1-goal game in Wrocław. England 5, Ireland 4 on World Lax TV and Lax TV. Fourth quarter face-off. This time Brendan Forst facing off against Daniel Madeley of England. And it's decided on the wing by William Shirt. And got it to the stick of Thomas Hallam. England sitting on a 5-4 lead. Looked like they had a chance to really separate. They led 4-1 at halftime, had all the momentum, but a man-up goal early in the third by Aiden Dempsey of Ireland was followed by a Connor Foley tremendous finish. And then the two teams exchange goals to close out the third. This is the battle for bronze. Both teams losing very competitive games yesterday, ended up as 2-goal losses in their respective semifinals. Hilditch frees himself, and the shot never got through. Hold will be called against Ireland. Both teams clearly playing to win. That was the message from the coaching staffs. Not holding anybody out that maybe is 50-50 with injury. Only a couple guys sitting for Ireland who have been playing through some more difficult physical ailments. Loveland looks to the cut. Good extra pass to Pashareva from Bickerton. But an Ireland stick got in the way of that. They recover, though, and will have another crack at it.
That was a really just an excellent look. That extra one more pass right there to get an even better look. Deflected, kept out. But the big thing right there is England got the ground ball. That's an extra chance at it. Ireland doesn't get a chance to clear, and they maintain possession and put more pressure on this defense.
Loveland darts back to the right. The slide comes, Roper. And Roper steps into the shot. Ireland yesterday holding Italy down to their tournament low of 10 goals. Their tremendous defense. One was put in late on an empty net. The previous low to that was 14 by the Italians. Bickerton continues to swing. Now the shot on the move with the left hand by Roper is also off target of Joe Walsh.
Yeah, and you can see Joe Walsh sort of barking some directions right there, sort of talking to his defense after that shot came in. Missed the net, but he just wants to sort of make sure that they have their slide packages. Everyone knows what they're doing.
Holland staying with Loveland.
Holland has great straight line speed and also great lateral speed, so he's matching feet, and he's done a good job defensively.
Then taking it into traffic was Prescott. Ball on the ground, and now a flag is out. This one will be against England. Ireland looks for transition, and the ball on the ground will put a stop to that. And it's a 30-second push with possession against England. So here's another chance for Ireland to tie the game. We have not been tied all day.
No, this is a big man-up opportunity for Ireland right here. There's a 30-second penalty. But, you know, if they can put this one in, tie the game up, that's going to be, you know, just the amount of momentum they're going to have. They're going to be, you know, really excited if that were to be the case. So the man down here will be tested for England.
William Baxter remains in goal for England after not starting the third quarter, but back in midway through. That comes to the front. Corbett shot off the mark. And penalty time is up. Ireland gets one shot.
Yeah, Corbett had two defenders draped on him too in there.
Foley trying to manipulate the screen.
We have a short step matchup with Horkin here.
A throwback to Somerville. The backside not open. Horkin will try to dodge on Flisk, and met by the check of Major. Two tough defensive teams here in the bronze medal game. It's 5-4. Brosnan swings. Corbett was searching for a cutter. He's got Dempsey. And the stop made by Baxter. And Baxter outlets, and a rare chance for either team to run in this game. DiCaprio has already scored a goal. He scored the opening goal today, that time shooting with the left hand.
Yeah, he brought that in, streaking down the field, kind of came in on the run, low to high, high level difficulty shot there for anybody, even a long pole, but he was equal to it. Just missed the net, nice attempt, but they had the backup, so England will retain possession.
England will sub on a full offensive midfield, and here's arrested Hilditch with 2 of the 5. Hilditch got to a comfortable spot. He's beaten Walsh high to a corner and then on a bouncer. Collins, and again, his forward momentum stopped by Sean Holland, who has been as impressive as a D-Midi as anybody. Might be the D-Midi of the tournament if there was an award for that. Russell. Collins to the other side. England closes it off. Then to take to cage by Hilditch. It never got through, but the follow-up is there. Blair Pashareva, after Hilditch, I think, had it checked out of his stick, but Pashareva in position to bury it.
It came through. I thought he took that shot right there.
Actually, Walsh made an initial save. That's what it was, and then a rebound.
Yeah, fortuitous hop right into the English player's stick, and he buried that shot. That's a nice goal. 2-goal difference now again, and you can hear the fans are really getting into this game.
Back to Forst, and the triple pole face-off. Moreland slips down, and Ireland has been able to find success. So they may be able to be more aggressive in the offense here, Marty, because previously you're expecting, look, possessions might be difficult to come by, but that might not be the case for the rest of this one for Ireland.
No, Ireland has been doing a great job with that 3-man pull. Smith, Forst, and McShane out there, and just they are so active with their sticks. McShane's so rangy and long and athletic too. Able to throw some pokes in there, scoop some ground balls. They will have possession right here and a chance to bring it within one once again.
Foley, Brosnan delivery into Corbett, and the ball on the ground, raked along briefly by DiCaprio. Somerville out high, unsettled. Brosnan down, it comes to Horkin. Baxter the save, the rebound. A chance to jam it down by Corbett. It appeared to have popped up, and Corbett could have had a chance to maybe touch it in, and now the ball out to England.
That was an exciting little exchange right there. Horkin had the look he wanted. I think the goalie got a piece of it. We now have a procedural foul right here. It's going to go back to White right here. So that was an unbelievable save.
Ireland with another opportunity. Well, William Baxter has been seeing the ball great today. He has been the starter, but generally in games, England has split he and Simon Bellamy. Bellamy got a chance early third quarter, gave up 2 goals, and perhaps just a feel for the elder statesman among the 2 goalies. Baxter back in goal. Horkin, maybe turned down a look. Debster, shot blocked. And that's off the body of Hallam. Hallam trying to push ahead. And Horkin will find it, and he was slashed. Flag down against England again. Free shot for Ireland. 4.5 to go.
Another hold
Foley.
there.
Then Foley with
Another one.
another flag. Draws a second, and it'll be a vital 6-on-4 for the Irish.
Yes, 6-on-4 will be coming up here. We had a slash and a hold right there, I believe. As you mentioned prior, though, Horkin did pass up a shot. Maybe, I'm not sure. He had sort of been, stymied the time before when he took the shot, so he elected to go with the pass. Got a great ground ball on a hustle, drew the flag, but 6-on-4 is now, this is a chance where you expect to score when you're 6-on-4. Interested to see how Ireland approaches this man up.
Flisk remains in, and actually Flisk is with a short stick. You don't normally see that. You normally see teams put out 4 poles, but the D-Midi out top 20 in red is with a shorty. Dempsey.
Dempsey's never shy to pull that trigger out there at all, but I think they might want to get a little bit closer, maybe get that ball humming a little bit more, spinning around to get their feet moving so they can get a little bit better look than that. 1 penalty is released now.
Running on is Tatton. Brosnan sensing the presence of Tatton coming in and has to recover it. So now 6-on-5. 3:30 to play in the bronze medal game. England by 2. Brosnan to throw back. Corbett. Somerville not in any position to shoot. Then the pass is batted back by Flisk, who kicks it ahead. Brosnan trying to box Flisk out. And did the ball go out? The ball, no, now the official corrects himself. Well, now they're gonna conference in, and both officials seem to agree that the ball is going to England. So last touched off of Brosnan.
Well, that's a big defensive stand for England right there. Big defensive stand to be 6-on-4 and to be able to not allow a goal right there in a tight game like this is a big moment in this game for England.
Flisk able to leg the clear. 2:40 on the clock with the approach for England.
And England can be content to sort of burn some clock right here. They don't need to be in a rush to go to the net. I'm sure they have confidence in each other too. If a stall warning is put on, that they can sort of run away. 2-goal lead is a big difference here.
Alex Russell, and Russell's bouncer denied by Walsh. The pursuit by Russell. Look at Walsh out of cage. And he really saved it. Collins creates room. Again, no shot clock in the international game that's coming in 2 years. We watch for Ireland's goalie, Joe Walsh, to come out and pick someone up off ball. Collins does not appear to be interested in going to goal. We watch for the officials to put on a stall warning. Smith. And here's the stall warning put on with 1:28 on the clock. Now the restraining box is much closer to the goal than it normally would be on all of the fields. Shot on the open goal is in. Hilditch took the chance and made the shot with Walsh peeking out from the crease. 7-4 England.
Yeah, that's a nice drive right there with the left hand. Beats the defender. Defender sort of goes over the head, which Ireland's been doing a little bit of. That's just, maybe a sign of just being tired and being beat in position. But nice take right there, beating Walsh to push it to a 3-goal differential for England. I thought that was excellent clock management by England right there. I thought that they really, they went to cage when they had the opportunity, but that's a devastating blow to Ireland, letting up that goal right there.
Forced, and now a clean face-off win by Mackenzie Moreland. Out to Watson. And England can begin to manage the rest of this clock. Walsh is out of cage. For England, they came in probably as the the team picked to win this tournament, or at least to be in the final. You got a mix of different teams as the favorite to win. But for the first time since the European Championship started in 1995, they are not in the gold medal game. Drew Bickerton saying, let's just go out there, have fun. Let's play more like ourselves. Yesterday, a very sloppy scene with all the rain. And England was not able to play up to the level. A lot of credit, of course, to Israel, too, for playing in those same elements to win it 8-6. Strong start for England, leading 2-0 after one, before Ireland put the clamps down again. But they've played again solid defense on the other end. William Baxter has been very good. Final seconds, and while this is not a gold medal for England, perhaps still great success at the end of another long journey, England does come back home with another medal. They capture the bronze over Ireland, 7-4 the final in Wrocław.
Yeah, that's a great job. And I'll tell you right there, what really, the whole game was entertaining, but you know, number 10, Loveland, they're running out the clock at the end. I mean, I know the English team sometimes wears those trackers on them that shows the distance traveled and the speeds they go at. He just ran, you know, laps around the offensive end there for England. It was very impressive to see, as was most of the game for them. They played really great, and hats off to them for winning the bronze medal.
William Baxter played awesome 9 years ago. The last time there was a full European Championship, he's the one they run to the most, and he plays great today to help England capture the bronze, the first in their history. And then for Ireland, they hold the team down offensively. They hold England to just 7, really 6, with an empty netter. Ireland's defense was superb in this tournament, and they do clinch a spot in the World Championships in 2 years in Japan, as does England. And two formidable teams meeting here tonight in a great scene in Wrocław. Daniel Hilditch with 3 goals was the high man. Key goal from Blair Pashareva of England to make it 6-4 midway through this period. The man up was good for Ireland, converting twice. And a DiCaprio goal started things off by the pole. That's a final here in Wrocław, 7-4. For our entire crew, we thank you so much for watching. This is the final day of full day action. 3 games tomorrow. That'll begin at 1 o'clock with the battle for 21st. That's the final slot in the Division II World Championship, followed by the battle for 7th place between Germany and France. The loser will not be in the World Championships. They'll finish 8th. The winner will be in Japan, clinching a spot. And then the gold medal game between Israel, the 3 seed, and 1-seeded Italy. First-time champion. Either way that game goes. For Marty Horkin, my name is Ralph Menarchik saying so long, and we say goodbye and good night from Wrocław. You've been watching the 2025 Men's European Lacrosse Championship on World Lacrosse TV and Lax TV.
Commercial break! We've been really busy over the past 2 years developing our very own women's lacrosse stick.
We are really, really proud of it. So stop by the shop. We would love to tell you more about it.
Good Stick Co. Come get a stick. Good Stick Company is here to manufacture and produce lacrosse sticks locally here in the Czech Republic. Our mission is to make lacrosse more accessible so more kids can have access to affordable, high-quality equipment so more people can play this game and we can share this sport around the world. Our philosophy on pricing is quite simple. By removing all these different logistics and these middlemen in the manufacturing process of lacrosse sticks, we can pass those savings on to you. We can make these quality lacrosse sticks affordable for more people.
We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive. growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse. We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse.
I'm here with number 91, Pat Smith from Ireland, after a tough loss for the Bronze against England. Pat, you had a tough loss last night and again today. Yesterday, how did you plan to bounce back for this game?
Yeah, you know, these tournaments are always a marathon, and you can't ever hold your head when you lose a tough game. Italy was a really great team, and we knew we had to bounce back against a really tough England team today. We just kind of we sat on our sorrows for probably 15, 20 minutes, moved on, studied some film, and then tried to regroup and get our heads right for this game. And I think we did play well, and I do think we got outplayed a little bit and lost to a better team. So sometimes that happens in these tournaments, nothing to be ashamed about.
And your defense was so good throughout the tournament, connected well and everything. How important is defense to you as a team, and how do you make your defense so amazing?
Yeah, so defense has always been the heart and soul of the Ireland program. We take a lot of pride in that. I think we have a really strong group of veteran players, a lot of guys who've played in tournaments like this before. We know each other super well, and we communicate. There's no one guy that has a big ego. We really come together as a group and play together really connected, and I think that's how we've been able to play so well.
And lastly, these 10 days, what has been your favorite memory from the tournament?
You know, honestly, my favorite memories from these tournaments always come off the field, just the laughs that we have hanging around the hotel. It's always a different group every 2 years whenever we get together, and getting to know the guys and seeing the second week once they get really tight, come together, play games, joke around in the hotel. That's what I really remember the most, and that's what I'll remember the most about this tournament as well.
Amazing. Thank you. That is Pat Smith from Ireland after game versus England.
Joined here on the sidelines by Danny Hilditch after England defeats Ireland in the bronze medal game. Danny, tough loss for you guys yesterday. How did you bounce back and regroup ahead of today's game?
I think we just had to get all our emotions out last night. You know, we were expected to be in a gold medal game on Saturday, but we just got all our emotions out last night, and it was a complete reset this morning. Did everything that we normally do, ready for a game, and I think it just worked. We just got back to the way that we needed to be, and we just pushed on straight through to the game.
3 goals for you today, all of them from distance. What went into that?
To be honest, I think a lot of them were, set up by my teammates. I couldn't have done it without them. The first one was a great phase of play, and I got a shot off, and I think the sun helped out in that one, and the sun helped out in the second one. Then luckily on the last one we were kind of trying to run them down, and there was an open net, so I just took it to kind of put that sucker punch in.
What is England gonna?
I think with this tournament, we've really come together as a proper team, as a country. I mean, the fans have been amazing the whole time we've been here. All of the fans from every country have been amazing since we've been here. It's been really nice to have like a good festival vibe at this tournament, and it's just been such an amazing part to be a part of.
One more time, Danny Hilditch of England as they defeat Ireland to take home the bronze medal here at the 2025 European Men's Lacrosse Championships.